Evaporation is defined as the loss of water molecules in the form of water vapor from the lower as well as upper part of the leaf wherever there is presence of stoma. You can see in this structure the presence of certain pores. In the magnified view with the help of magnifying glass, a structure is shown, and in this structure those eye-shaped structures are present, and those are the stoma. When these structures they open up, there is a pore formed, and that pore is responsible for loss of water. Even exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen also takes place with the help of this stomatal pore. The structure of stomata is as such that it includes the epidermal cells. The epidermal cells are arranged in the periphery of the guard cells. Guard cells are basically kidney shaped structures in case of dicot plants, whereas in case of monocotyledonous plants, we see that they are dumbbell shaped. So, the same structure, if in case of dicot, it is looking like this, but in case of monocot, monocot, the structure will look the kidney shaped structures will be changed to dumbbell shaped structures. So the pore will be this area. I have discussed about monocot as well as dicot plants. Now these epidermal cells, since they are surrounding the guard cells, in the structure of each of the guard cells is also very important. The structure is has the presence of vacuole, nucleus, and other cell organelles, but the inside part of this curved area or the kidney shaped structure is thicker, whereas the outer area or outer covering is thinner. Because of the thicker inner area of the guard cell, they are capable of swelling up and making the pore evident, whereas at times when there is less pressure or the cells are not turgid, the guard cells they are not turgid, that time we see that there is less stomatal pore or closed stoma is present. Okay, now there is difference between a closed stoma and a open stoma. The difference is in the open stoma, there is exchange of gases and the pore is present. The stomatal aperture is seen, whereas in case of closed stoma, there will be no presence of stomatal pore. So there are three things which are important in case of the structure of a stomata. First thing, the stomatal structure is formed with the help of guard cells, and these guard cells are dicotyl. In the dicot plants, they are kidney shaped, whereas in monocotyledonous plants, they are dumbbell shaped. The structure of guard cell consists of nucleus in a thicker area or membrane, whereas the outer membrane is thin. The reason why the inner membrane is thick, it is as such because it allows the movement of water inside the guard cells and swelling up or turgidity of guard cells. As the guard cells they become turgid, the stomatal pore it increases in size and helps in the exchange of gases as well as loss of water vapor. Now, from where the water comes in, it follows the same potassium ion concentration theory. We have already discussed it in details. Now, we will be discussing, or I want you all to learn this. You have to draw the structure of stomata and label seven parts. And all these 1 to 7 parts are already mentioned over here. You have to draw the structure of the guard cells first, then you have to draw the epidermal cells. You have to mark the presence of chloroplasts. Where are the chloroplasts present? They are present even on the guard cells as well as on the epidermal cells. So you have to mark them over there. Where is what is the location of nucleus? Nucleus is within the guard cells, and even nucleus is present in the epidermal cells. Which area of the guard cell is thicker? Yes, the thicker area is the inside area of the guard cell, and it provides flexibility for the opening of stomata, whereas the outer wall is thin, so that again same thing, it helps in opening the stomatal pore. What is a stoma? The opening or the aperture which is formed because of turgidity of both the guard cells because of drawing water due to potassium ion concentration theory inside the guard cells. It results in this swelling of or opening of stomata or stoma. What is the importance of stomata? So the answer to this question is it has in loss of water in the plants, and because of this loss of water there is opening of the stomatal aperture and inside movement of carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide is responsible for the process of dark reaction in the photosynthesis. So it is the raw material which forms the starch or the glucose, I should say. These are the two most important reasons why stomata are present in the plants. Now, evaporation is also a process which is quite similar, which looks quite similar to transpiration. In the evaporation also there is change of state from liquid state to gaseous state, but here also it is the same due to increase in the temperature and pressure. Now, this change of state is taking place. Suppose you take a vessel and put water within it, put it over a gas stove and cover it. When you cover it, you will after a minute or two, when you remove the covering, you will see water droplets surrounding it. If you just remove that cover and let the water boil, you will see continuous movement of some water vapor upside, and that is evaporation. We can induce evaporation in any area or any non-living organism, and with the help of evaporation we have various benefits. One of it is this: our clothes dry up because of evaporation. The increase in temperature leads towards drying up of the cloth. And even when our hair is wet, at that time with the hair dryer also we do the same thing. Rapid change of water droplets which are present in the hair into vapor, and as water changes into water vapor, our hairs dry up. So what we are applying when we are blowing our hair with the help of a hair dryer, we are just providing warm air to our hair, and that warm air increases the temperature and converts the water present in our hair into water droplets. Now, see how does this entire process takes place in nature. When you are boiling any vessel containing water, water is getting converted into water vapor, and this change in state is taking place because of increase in surface tension. And not only surface tension, even the molecules, they are even the molecules they are increasing. There is high amount of energy gained by these molecules, and they are incapable of staying in the same state because of much energy. So in order to stabilize themselves, they are releasing extra amount of energy in the form of vapor. Now, there are various important significance or importance of evaporation. First is that the surface of the pond, it evaporates the upper layer of water so that it adds to the water cycle. Common salt is prepared in the sea regions or the areas which have presence of sea with the help of the same evaporation process. Water is locked into certain compartments, and then water from the salt is allowed to evaporate. Once the water from the salt is evaporated, salt is then collected and harvested. We shouldn't say harvest, we should say collected. When we sweat, the sweat also gets evaporated and it dries up after a certain period of time. The earthen pots, they also remain cool because of the process of evaporation. When we drink any hot tea or warm liquid in saucer, at that time also we are trying to increase the surface area of the liquid in order to let it cool down very fast. Drying of clothes is an example of evaporation, and evaporation process helps in cooling as well. For the case of coolers, we use the same process of evaporation. Water is filled in the cooler, and then after it has in cooling the entire environment. Evaporation of acetone in our hand is also the same example. Even in case of using sanitizer, we are using the same technique. Or if you just put a drop of water in your hand and let it dry up as such, or just by letting it or blowing it, that is also an example of evaporation. Now, what is the difference between evaporation and transpiration? That is something which we need to understand. In the process of transpiration, the loss of water is taking place from the plant in the form of water vapor. Now, water is absorbed by the roots from the soil and transported as a liquid till the leaves xylem, and from the xylem, the there is presence of guard cells. In the guard cells, or when the guard cells they become turgid, stomatal aperture arises, and through that stomatal aperture, water gets converted into water vapor in the spongy parenchyma, that vacant region, and from there it is transported to the stoma for the release in the atmosphere. And also here one thing acts, that is the difference of temperature of the outside air. Outside air has less amount of water as compared to the leaf itself. So that's why water vapor can very easily move from higher concentration of water inside the leaf to lower concentration of water in the air, and this way the transpiration process proceeds very easily. If you see the structure, you can very well relate to xylem. In the midrib area, the center is the presence of xylem. Outside covering is phloem, and you can see the palisade layer. We have discussed all these layers, and after the palisade layer, mesophyll cells are present. Mesophyll cells, after the mesophyll cells, spongy parenchyma is there. Spongy parenchyma has several layers which are vacant, and in that vacant space, the diffusion of water results in increasing the temperature and very quick change from liquid state to gaseous state of water, and loss of the same water through the process of transpiration. Now, what is the importance of transpiration? Transpiration is one very important thing is transpiration is taking place in case of plants, or yes, it takes place only in case of plants, and water is absorbed by the roots and it moves till the xylem, and then after it is released out. Whereas in case of evaporation, it is a physical process. None of the living cells are taking part in it. As such, the heat is converting it from one form to another. Transpiration, it helps in the absorption and distribution of water in the plants. It also helps in absorption and transport of mineral salts in the plants, because mineral salts are solid particles and they cannot move without any help of water. So for the movement, they require the presence of this water. It also provides coolness to the plant body. Yes, the cooling effect in the plants is because of water loss, and that's why even in the sunny days when you sit near the plant, you do not feel much hot, and it is because of the cooling effect shown by the plants. Osmotic balance of the cell is also maintained by the process of transpiration. So these are few of the important things which we should know when we are discussing about the process of transpiration. Now these are set of few questions which are to be done by you all, and this will make you believe that you have understood everything which we have discussed in.